So, how do you end a great story? How do you leave the audience with a sense of true satisfaction by the end of your story? How do you prevent them from feeling like they've wasted their time by sitting down and indulging in your art? There is no universal way to end a story well. Some stories are better suited for sad endings, some are better suited for happy endings. Some land somewhere in that murky gray area in between, and some are better off just never truly ending at all. Teen Titans is one of the most iconic, successful, and beloved franchises from the comic book behemoth known as DC Comics, which, stupid name, but it sounds good, so whatever. There are countless iterations of the Teen Titans throughout literature, television, and film. But my favorite, and what I would argue is the most popular and recognizable version, is the one that I grew up watching on Cartoon Network back in the mid-2000s. No, not that one, although that one is actually pretty great for what it is, and to this day, I still say that it gets unnecessarily hated on. But the reason a show like Teen Titans Go is so overhated is because of the extremely high regard us fans hold the 2003 series in. The essence of what the OG Teen Titans show was is something that's much more commonplace now, but back in 2003, it felt refreshingly alien. An anime-styled American Saturday morning cartoon about a group of teenage superheroes who beat the shit out of bad guys and explored long-developed plot lines with character growth and shocking plot twists throughout an amazing 5-season run. And I have to mention that the theme song slapped so hard that Cartoon Network gave the band that wrote it their own cartoon. You will never see something like that happen again. That's generational type shit. And for about 4 years and 5 seasons, I watched the Teen Titans do their thing week after week after week. It was truly one of my favorite shows as a kid, and I'm convinced that it was the biggest reason I'm still a DC fanboy all these years later, despite, well, the current state of affairs. But as all shows not named One Piece or The Simpsons eventually do, the Teen Titans show ended, and it ended in one of the strangest, most baffling ways my 12-year-old brain could imagine. Every season of Teen Titans can be broken down into being a specific character's season to shine. Season 1 was Robin's season, Season 2 was arguably Terra's, Season 3 was Cyborg's, Season 4 was Raven, and Season 5 was Beast Boy. I guess Starfire's would have been Season 6, but as you should know this far into the video, that shit ain't happen. But Season 5 wasn't just Beast Boy's season, it also felt like the writers were setting up for sort of Teen Titans Unlimited, which would feature all of the expanded cast of heroes and villains the Titans had met on their various escapades. It would bring everyone together similar to how another amazing DC cartoon of the same era called Justice League did back in the day. The penultimate episode of Teen Titans was called Titans Together, and in most people's minds, this was a much more fitting and satisfying ending to the show. The final shot of Titans Together is literally the entire cast of the OG Teen Titans and every honorary member we had come to find and know over the course of the show. It shows all of them united as one front against Dr. Light, who was the only major villain that wasn't really shown in the season's climax. It was a beautiful and poetic moment that the show could have proudly run off into the sunset on, but it didn't. Instead, just 2 days later, the true ending of Teen Titans was revealed to the world. And it took me over a decade to not only come to terms with it, but to actually be grateful for it. The episode is called Things Change, and it begins with our heroes returning home from beating the Brotherhood of Evil, who are the main villains of Season 5, and they're distressed to realize that they seem to have been gone longer than they had thought, because all of their favorite places, bookstores, pizza shops, movie theaters, etc., they've all been closed down, destroyed, and replaced by new buildings and new businesses. But before they have time to fully digest that the home they knew and loved is changing, and there's not really anything they can do to stop it, a mysterious and powerful new enemy appears and starts wreaking havoc on the city, which means that, of course, the Teen Titans have to jump in and save the day. It should be noted that this nameless enemy's power is that it seems to be able to become whatever material it touches. Basically, it adapts to whatever its surroundings are. That seems relevant. Anyway, they all attack the nameless monster like usual, but Beast Boy is quickly smacked out of the way, and when he gets his senses back, he sees a familiar face in the crowd of people watching them. It's his old boo thing, Terra, from Seasons 1 and 2. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Beast Boy and Terra's history because there's enough of that to be its own video, but the TLDR is that Terra joined the Titans back in Season 1, Beast Boy had a crush on her, things didn't really work out with Beast Boy or the Titans. She comes back in season 2 as a sort of double agent for Slade, who was arguably the Titans' most hated nemesis, and she basically almost kills all of them. But in the end, she comes to her senses and traps both her and Slade in an underground tomb using her crazy demon rock powers. All of that is to say, she should absolutely not be standing here in front of Beast Boy right now. Beast Boy's attention is pulled away from Terra and back to the battle for a moment, but when he looks back, Terra is gone. The monster flees into the sewer, but Beast Boy takes a detour back to the place where Terra was caved in all those years ago. But when he gets there, he finds that Terra isn't there. Beast Boy heads back to the tower and tells the other Titans about the miracle resurrection of Terra, and as interested as they are in potentially having Terra back again, they get an alert that the nameless monster is attacking the city somewhere else, so duty calls and they have to leave it for later. But Beast Boy doesn't want to leave it for later. He wants to find Terra now. He wants the girl he loves back now. He wants things to go back to the way they were when he was happier with Terra. The team go fight the monster, but Beast Boy goes to find Terra. At this point in the episode, there's this feeling of maybe that this is potentially a start of a new plot line, like season 6 will be an arc about the resurrection and return of Terra and all the crazy stories that could bring with it. And I really like how the writers set this up, as it's just another episode as you're used to seeing from the Teen Titans. But pretty soon you see that things take a strange turn. Beast Boy eventually finds Terra at a local high school, only she doesn't remember him. She doesn't remember the Titans or her time on the team. She doesn't even have her powers anymore. Beast Boy eventually convinces Terra to go out on a date with him and catch up on old times, but despite his efforts to jog her memory and connect based on their history, Terra, or whoever this new Terra lookalike may be, never remembers. And it only seems that the more Beast Boy tries to force the issue, the more she pushes him away. Quick side note, I really love the ethereal and ambient music that plays throughout this episode. It adds to the vibe of wandering through unfamiliar territory that the whole story is just dripping with. I also really like how at the moments where Beast Boy and Terra's differences are clearly apparent, they get animated into these small boxes that slowly drift apart from one another. Really dope. After Terra leaves, Beast Boy goes on to have a very random fight against a Slade robot that seems to be more battle with his own inner demons. But when it comes to Slade and the type of sick, sadistic shit he was willing to put these kids through, it's definitely not out of the range of possibility that he actually set this up for Beast Boy to find at some point. The rest of the team keep fighting the still unnamed monster, and Beast Boy keeps chasing the still not interested Terra. As the show cuts back and forth between both plot lines, it's clear that neither Beast Boy nor the team are having any success with their respective fights. Beast Boy convinces Terra to give him one last chance to prove to her that she is who he says she is. But when Terra asks him what he ultimately wants from her, Beast Boy just says that he wants things to go back to the way they were. One of the last things Terra says to Beast Boy is,
"Things changed, Beast Boy. The girl you want me to be is just a memory."
And before Beast Boy can even argue with her about it, Robin comes in over the communicator and reminds Beast Boy that the Titans need him. Once again, duty calls. Beast Boy takes one last look at Terra before she slowly backs away into the crowd of students and disappears forever. Beast Boy then tells Robin that he's coming, and he runs out into the bright, uncertain light. And that's how it ends. That's how Teen Titans ends. And my first reaction to this series finale as a wide-eyed 12-year-old kid was,
"This is bullshit."
I hated it. I felt robbed. I felt betrayed. I felt pure anger and frustration that one of my favorite shows could have possibly ended on such a weird and depressing note. And I know for a fact that I was not alone in those feelings. A lot of kids hated this ending, and a lot of adults still hate this ending. The older I got and the more I thought about this finale, the more I grew to love and appreciate the message that it preaches. It's a message every kid should learn as early as possible. For better or for worse, things change. People change, places change, relationships change, standards change, rules change. Nothing is truly stagnant and nothing will last forever. No matter how bad you want things to stay as they are, or even if you want to go back to what things used to be, you can't live your life refusing to adapt to a changing world. That's how you get left behind. No matter how bad Beast Boy wants to get Terra back, no matter how bad he wants her to remember him so that she'll come back willingly, No matter how bad he just wants to spend time with her, even if she doesn't remember him. Life will always get in the way and remind him that he has responsibilities and obligations that he has to keep. He has to keep moving forward, even if his happiest memories are in the past. But who's to say he can't make happier memories in the future? Refusing to even try would only doom him to a miserable life stuck in between. As people, we must adapt or die. It's the harshest yet most rewarding truth of this world. And I have to thank this episode for trying to teach me and so many other kids that very lesson all those years ago.